worshiping.
Pakistani officials saying a suicide bombing at a mosque in Peshawar has killed at least 28 people, more than 150 wounded. According to one eyewitness, part of the mosque roof collapsed after the explosion. Rescue crews are now digging through the rubble for victims. The number of casualties is expected to rise. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the attack. The Taliban has previously been blamed for similar attacks in the region. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, at the Foreign Desk.
Also overseas, Secretary of State Antony Blinken visiting Egypt and Israel. Blinken is urging Israel and the Palestinians to exercise restraint and ease tensions amid a recent spike in violence. In Memphis, Tennessee, Tyree Nichols' funeral is set for Wednesday after demonstrators spent the weekend protesting his apparent death from an alleged police beating. The video of it released publicly and going viral.
The death of Tyree Nichols highlights the need for changes in policing, says NAACP President and CEO Derek Johnson.
Getting tough on crime oftentimes is being smarter on crime, and we have yet to get smart on crime.
He said those changes need to come from Congress, a claim echoed on ABC's This Week by civil rights attorney Ben Crump.
Without federal police reform, I think we're going to continue to see these hashtags proliferate so much that we can't keep up with them.
He said Tyree Nichols would still be alive if the city responded to previous complaints about the Scorpion unit. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Nichols' parents will attend President Biden's upcoming State of the Union address. Super Bowl 57 is said. It'll be the Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles on February 12th.
Let's go, Birds! Here he goes! Super Bowl, baby!
Philly has crunched one Super Bowl victory in the past. Kansas City has won two. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Ukraine's leader asking for more advanced military hardware as Russia steps up its attacks.
Fear and panic. Journalists taking cover in the Ukrainian city of Kherson as Russian rockets rained down. A woman died in her apartment block. In total, 3 civilians killed in the attacks. President Zelensky this weekend calling on the US and its NATO allies to provide longer-range missiles and fighter jets to Ukraine, after the US and Germany agreed to send advanced tanks.
ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge in Ukraine. 2 auto insurance companies, State Farm and Progressive, are reportedly refusing to cover some models from Hyundai and Kia. Thefts of those cars made between 2015 and 2019 have shot up around 300% in 2 years. Both car makers accused of not doing enough to secure their vehicles. And a bear in Colorado proving it's not camera shy at all.
A motion-triggered wildlife camera was set up near a deer carcass in a wooded area near Boulder, Colorado.
In hopes of, seeing some cool animals interacting.
Boulder Open Space and Mountain Parks Department's Christian Nunes.
It was a great surprise to see the bear just sitting there right in front of the camera.
A large black bear eating, lounging, and posing. Unusual for bears. Out of hundreds of shots,
400 other photos were the bear sitting in front of the camera.
Then, bye-bye. They assumed the bear went into hibernation. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health.
Does that old tractor or lawnmower have more electrical tape or duct tape holding it together than you want to admit? Well, maybe it's time to see Phil Sheehan and his staff at NC Tractor for a new Massey Ferguson tractor or mower. Massey Ferguson is a company that's been around for over 175 years. That says a lot about a company. And paired with Phil Sheehan, who's been in business for over 25 years, that says a lot about Phil and his staff. Knowledgeable about their product, and they stand behind every sale. Massey Ferguson is the last tractor you'll ever need. NC Tractor, a dependable and reliable company that'll be there after the sale. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford.
And off periods of early rain will continue. We are tracking highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. And this afternoon, we are going to see drier conditions move in. Some of those clouds are going to break apart as well and allow us to see some sunshine. As we head into tonight, we're down into the upper 40s. Highs will top in the lower 50s and lower 60s for tomorrow. We are tracking unsettled conditions to persist again on Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, earlier this morning we had some pretty thick banks of fog out there in spotted, so you may run out of it and back into it again. So please be observant of that as you go around curves, and you might find some big thick fog, and you never know who's walking along the highway or riding along the highway without any colorful glow patches on their clothes at all, or maybe a deer out there walking. Just be careful of the fog because it may be out there. It may burn off here pretty soon. We're going to be mostly cloudy today around here with some scattered showers developing later, about a 30% chance of that. Our expected high, 61 today, and light wind. Right now we're 41. We're just a little ways away from that high. Now we got rain in the forecast pretty much every day this week, off and on, different percentages. 50% tomorrow, Wednesday 60%, Thursday 80%, and Friday looks like about may not rain on Friday, but we got a wind chill value on Friday as low as 20. Yes, on Friday night, mostly clear with lows around 26 with a wind chill value as low as 20 and wind about 8 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly sunny, highs around 43, wind chill value as low as 19. Going to get cold Saturday because, look at this. Now, I don't want to get you too excited too early, but on Saturday night, they're calling for partly cloudy with snow showers with lows around 27. And Sunday, mostly cloudy with rain and or snow with highs around 45. So the weekend may be exciting for us. Of course, again, it may change by then, so we'll see. Don't like our weather hanging around a couple of days. It's probably going to change anyway. Again, right now, though, it's 41 degrees. We're going to delay the death announcements until after the Bill O'Reilly Morning Update because there are many of those. But let me remind you this. A local woman under investigation for drug activity was arrested after she was found to have 4.4 pounds of methamphetamine in her car. Rebecca Elizabeth Libby Whitesides was charged with trafficking methamphetamine after an extensive surveillance led officers to follow her into Spartanburg County. Investigators alerted the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, and during a January 18th traffic stop, the meth was discovered, according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. Whitesides was then jailed in Spartanburg County on those trafficking charge. A Gaffney, South Carolina man was killed when he crossed the center line and struck an 18-wheeler head-on. Cherokee County Coroner Dennis Fowler says Ricky Ronald Jones of Chesney Highway was killed Thursday afternoon in a two-truck collision near Chesney. Jones was driver and lone occupant of a 2003 Ford pickup truck that was headed south on Rutherfordton Highway at 3:47 p.m. Jones crossed the center line, striking a 2027 Kenworth tractor-trailer rig traveling north, struck it head-on. Jones died on impact and was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the tractor-trailer rig was not injured. An autopsy has been scheduled for Friday morning to assist with the investigation. Well, beginning February the 14th, the Daily Courier will transition to a thrice-weekly publication. In an effort to reduce costs and remain economically efficient, the Courier will be published on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday only. Moving to 3 days per week will not mean less news content or the loss of regularly featured elements, the article said. The new covers will remain the same. In fact, each edition will likely be bolstered with more content than when distributed 2 additional days. That's the story in today's edition of the Daily Courier. To go into 3 days a week starting February the 14th. So they hope to gain some momentum in terms of expense by doing that. The Bill O'Reilly Morning Update is coming up next on the Morning Wake Up Call.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, no question there is a concerted effort to intimidate and silence conservative thinkers and replace our God-given individual liberty with big government controls. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits and all kinds of great content. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us. On this Monday, life is not fair and then you die. That is the cliche. But it's a little bit more nuanced than that if you live in the United States of America. Number one, our chief benefit here is a Constitution that allows many of us, I think most of us, to pursue happiness. We have a shot at putting together a life that is satisfying and rewarding if we follow the rules. You got to work hard, you got to be honest, you've got to get educated. Those are the rules, or learn a trade. If you can fix something, you're going to make a good living. Anyway, so we do have opportunity, and many of us enjoy ourselves. But the downside is very few Americans prepare for the worst. And the worst is going to happen to you. It's just inevitable because life isn't fair and then you die. What you have to do is anticipate illness and therefore put together a good medical team, a physician you can get on the phone who cares about you, medical insurance that you can rely on, all right? A team of people who can come over to your house should you need them. This is just one thing. You've got to anticipate that bad things are going to happen and think about how to protect yourself against those bad things. Now this. Many timeshare owners upset their yearly dues continue to increase. Lone Star Transfer is the only company you can trust guaranteeing the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. They've helped more than 18,000 owners legally and permanently get out. So start off the new year right with a free no-obligation consultation, 855-551-7066 or LoneStarTransfer.com. LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Death announcements this morning. Of these death announcements, Lynn Shottle Melton, 61, of the Chase community, died Friday, January the 27th. Services will be held on Tuesday, January 31st at Bethany Baptist Church at 2 o'clock. Receiving friends will be held in the church social hall after the services are concluded. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Lynn Shottle Melton. Grady Franklin Sr. passed away Friday, January 27th at his home near Cliffside, surrounded by his family. Grady Franklin Sr. was 101 years young. A funeral will be held at 1 o'clock Wednesday, February 1st at First Presbyterian Church, West Main Street, Forest City. Visitation will be from 6 until 8 p.m. Tuesday, January 31st in the Family Life Center at the church. Following the funeral, a burial ceremony will be held for the family at Cleveland Memorial Park in Bowling Springs, North Carolina. The Paget at King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Grady Gilbert Franklin Sr. Sue Epley, age 69, died Sunday, January 29th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Funeral arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary for Sue Epley. Virginia Huggins Hemphill died Sunday, January 29th at her home. Those arrangements also incomplete and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory. Again, that's Virginia Huggins Hemphill. Laura Lee Cody Mills, age 85, died Sunday, January 29th at Carolina Foothills in Forest City, Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City. A celebration of her life will be held 3 p.m. Wednesday, February the 1st at Crow's Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service. For Laura Lee Cody Mills. Dr. Herman Bruce Norville Sr., age 82, of the Green Creek community, died Friday, January the 27th, at his home. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 o'clock. They received friends yesterday from 1 until 2 o'clock at McMahon's funeral home. The service was held at 2 o'clock with burial at the Ports Ford Baptist Church Cemetery. McMahon's funeral home and cremation service in charge of those arrangements for Herman Bruce Norville Sr. Newton Perry Roach Jr., age 79, passed away Thursday, January 26th at Rutherford Hospital. A service to celebrate the life of Newton Perry Roach Jr. will be held at 2 o'clock Tuesday, January 31st at Crow's Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Shiloh Baptist Church Cemetery with military honors provided by the Rutherford County Veterans Honor Guard. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 o'clock tonight at Crow's Mortuary for Newton Perry Roach Jr. Francis Hamrick Waters, 91, of Forest City, passed away January 4th at Willow Ridge after a long illness. Memorial services will be announced at a later date by Crow's Mortuary, who is assisting the family of Francis Hamrick Waters. Donald Richard Muskoff, age 70, died Thursday, January 26th at Fairhaven, Forest City. The Pageant King Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements, and a private service of remembrance will be conducted at a later date in Euless, Texas, for Donald Richard Muskoff. Patricia Lee Bullis C., 47, passed away Friday, January 20th. The celebration of life will be held on February the 5th from 2 until 5 at the family home located at 5895 Cox Road, Rutherfordton. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Patricia Lee Bullis C. Richard Mark Fredwell, Mark, died Tuesday, January the 17th, at his home in Lake Lure. The celebration of life will be held at Hickory Nut Gorge Brewery, now Chimney Rock Brewing Company in Chimney Rock, Saturday, February the 11th at 11 o'clock. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Richard Mark Fredwell. Barbara Bridges, age 80, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday, January the 24th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The family will receive friends from 4 until 6, Saturday, February the 4th at Harrelson Funeral Home. Harrelson Funeral Home and cremation service serving the family of Barbara Bridges of Forest City. Those are the death announcements we have in the house this morning. For complete information on these and others as they become available to us, be sure to tune in this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon Call Around the County newscast.
In 1874, Jesse and Frank James were robbing banks and trains to the point the railroads decided to hire the Pinkertons to hunt them down. But the Pinkertons, in spite of their skill, weren't having any luck rounding up the James boys. Then, late in 1874, one of their agents, John Wincher, was found dead close to the James home. The Pinkertons were convinced that the Jameses had killed him, and they decided to raise the ante. Receiving information that Jesse and Frank were visiting their mother in Kearney, Missouri, on January 26, 1875, the Pinkertons surrounded the James home. In the process, they threw an incendiary device into the house to illuminate the interior, but it exploded. Unfortunately, it blew off the arm of Jesse and Frank's mother and killed their little brother. In addition to this, neither Jesse nor Frank were there. Although the Pinkertons never acknowledged they were responsible for the bombing, everybody knew they did it. From this point forward, the Pinkertons developed a low profile. The bombing convinced everyone the James brothers were innocent victims of the powerful railroads. The Missouri legislature even came close to passing a bill that would give amnesty to the Jameses. And Zerelda Samuel, their mother, was always willing to make public appearances. giving a melodramatic speech about how the evil railroads were persecuting her innocent sons. And it worked too, because farmers throughout the region hid and protected the James brothers, so the Pinkertons were never able to catch them. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has moved to a new location, 126 Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton, and they've changed their name, Jesse James Chowhound Canteen. A new name, a new place, and a limited menu. Currently, you can get smoked sausages, kielbasa's, and of course those delicious hot dogs. And you can get coleslaw, macaroni and cheese, and potato salad. Stay tuned for their new menu at their new place. Hours are Tuesday through Saturdays from 11 until 2, closed Sundays and Mondays. Jesse James Chowhound Canteen, 126 Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton. Call 286-9368 and get a 99-cent hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions, Tuesdays only.
Now let's go to the phone to get started this morning with our Call Around the County newscast. And on the phone with me right now from the Sheriff's Department is Deputy Aida. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for being with us. What's on the report?
And this weekend, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 393 calls for service. The jail was housing 165, and 23 arrests were made. And for our reports, Bryson Remedi was arrested and was served a criminal summons. Jonathan Dobbins was charged with cyber stalking. Willie Stroud was charged with driving while license revoked. Adrian Camp was charged with failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Dontre Mickelrath was charged with misdemeanor larceny. Bethany Gillikin was charged with injury to personal property. Bobby Johnson was charged with carry to conceal handgun. And that's all I have for the day.
We appreciate that very much. You be safe out there today now.
Yes, sir. You do the same.
Thank you. Deputy Aida here on the radio this morning. Glad to have him on. 7:22.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Good morning, Melissa. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's on your report?
Well, in the last 48 hours, the Rutherford County 911 Communications has processed a total of 634 911 and administrative calls. These consisted of 113 for emergency medical services. Under law enforcement, the Sheriff's Office responded to 393 calls, Town of Forest City to 101, Town of Rutherfordton to 91, Lake Lure to 7, and Spindale to 49. For fire calls, the Bostic Fire Department responded to a brush fire. Cherry Mountain responded to a residential fire alarm. Forest City responded to a gas leak. Rutherfordton to a motor vehicle accident. Sandy Mush to a gas leak. And SDO to a motor vehicle accident. And that's it.
I appreciate it. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
And here's Ruby Taylor from Danieltown, SDO, Shallow, Danieltown, Oakland Fire District. Ruby, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Jim.
Good. What's on your report from the weekend?
The fire department had a vehicle accident, and on my birthday calendar, I got Chad Allison having birthday, and hope they have a nice day. And the signs are in the arms today and tomorrow. And that's all I got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. I hope you have a good Monday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Here's Chris Melton now reporting to us from up around Jimmy Rock Lake, Lord and Bills Creek. Chris, how you doing?
Good, Jim. How are you?
Good. You have a good weekend?
It was a great weekend.
Good. Busy, or quiet?
It was decent. Friday evening, Lake Lure responded with Lake Lure Police Department to assist with disabled motorists. And Saturday, Lake Lure went to look for a lost hiker on one of our Weed Patch Mountain trails, and then had a medical call Sunday for Lake Lure, and now they're rolling out the door to a possible structure fire in Polk County.
Oh, my.
And Jimmy Rock and Bills Creek and Fairfield was pretty good this weekend.
Good. Well, it comes in bunches sometimes, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah. Everything else pretty good up there?
Everything's good. The roads are flowing good. Getting ready for that rain coming in, supposedly, but got blue sky today and a little bit of wet roads so far, but
any fog?
Looks like we'll have a good day.
Any fog up your way?
Not at all.
Yeah. But pretty thick fog this morning when I came in early, but I believe it's burning off now, at least around here, but it's always patchy. Thick in some sections and nothing in others.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Chris, thank you very much for being with us, and I hope you have a wonderful Monday.
You do the same.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
It's the store folks in Western North Carolina depend on. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply. It's like a superstore. Deer corn, $11.05 for 50 pounds. Cob corn, $10. They have plenty of deer plant supplies. Check on the lower prices on propane, $12.99 for a 20-pound tank. Mulch, gravel, rocks, and supplies for beautiful landscaping. That's available at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply at lower prices. Open Monday through Saturday. If you want a feed and seed store that carries so much more, including new and used farm equipment, then come on over to Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
Good morning to Vern Upton. How are things over in Bostic?
Well, over here in Bostic, we have a temperature of 43 degrees. Fire department had a medical call and a brush fire call. We have one birthday, Will Caldwell. We want to wish him a happy birthday. Don't forget to stop in at Washburn Store. They have just about anything you need there. Check their good sandwiches out. They'll fix you up on those. And Bostic Floors, stop in and check her arrangements out. And Valentine's Day's coming up, so go by there and put your order in. And hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thanks, Devin. You have a wonderful day as well. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Well, that's the Boston Reporter. Well, Vern just gave us part of the information about Washburn Store. That's where we're going next. 4 generations of the Washburn family have owned Washburn Store in Boston, and members of the 6th generation work there regularly. It's always fun to step back in history and enjoy shopping at Washburn Store. Between Boston and Sunshine on the Boston Sunshine Highway, you can take a step back and find a lot of things you're looking for, from spinning wheels, an old-fashioned wood cook stove, or a washboard, Lincoln Logs, Tinker Toys, overalls, pots and pans and nails and candies and cold drinks. And up and down the aisle, you'll find a lot of things that you could use or give to somebody special. Why don't you step back in time with our good friends at Washburn General Store between Boston and Sunshine on the Boston Sunshine Highway? It's refreshing just to walk by and step inside and walk up down the aisles at Washburn Store. And here's Robbie Samuel on this Monday morning. Robbie, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Things quiet in Rutherfordton?
Yep, been quiet. They ran a medical call about midnight last night, and other than that, it's been quiet for the fire departments this weekend, both Hubbo and Ralston. Like I said, just a few medical calls. Nothing too major, it don't sound like.
Hudlow the same quiet too, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So far we are. So we're just holding it down, and hopefully the day will stay just as calm and be a good day for everybody.
What constitutes a medical call for the fire department as opposed to calling EMS or the ambulance?
Well, we actually go with EMS. When they get dispatched out to a medical call, we actually go with them, and that's how a lot of that starts.
Okay, good.
And then we'll usually get there before EMS, and we'll start treatment. And then once EMS gets there, some of them are higher level trained. Of course, they're paramedics instead of basics.
Right.
Then they can actually start a little more with the treatment and stuff than what the fire departments can do.
That's where that good training you guys have to go through comes in handy, though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it sure does.
You'll do a lot of good training. We're really proud of what you all do.
Well, we're glad we can do it, and hopefully we can give the best service as we can to the citizens of the whole county, each fire department. But other than that, Jim, that's all we got going on today.
All right, Robbie, I hope you have a great Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, you too, Jim.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye. That's Robbie with the Rutherfordton Police Department. He also looks after Hudlow for us. It's 7:31. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Sue Price is up this morning, and she's got information for us from the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue, how you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Well, good.
What's the report from the fire district over there?
Well, as far as I know, they were quiet. It's not had any report on them, but that's a good thing. You just appreciate them being there. And let's see, I have no birthdays or anniversaries on my Lincoln's Creek church calendar, and nothing on my personal calendar this morning. Fairie's got birthdays for Deborah Chapman and Bailey Yelton, so I hope they'll both have a good day. We hope anybody's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on this special day and enjoy it. And I don't have any announcements, hadn't had anything come in, so it's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You have a good one, too, and I'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, with the foggy conditions here in Rutherfordton, let's move up to Union Mills, where it's always cheerful, bright, and Brenda Kelly's always on the job. Good morning, Brenda. How are you?
Good morning, Jim Bishop, on this marvelous Monday morning. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I am too. Feel good.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I am too. Feeling good.
Feeling good. Feeling mighty fine.
Mighty fine. It's good to see you yesterday at lunch.
It was good to see you in Faye, but you know, I didn't recognize Faye. I'm used to her hair being curly, and she had a different style. And I thought, well, I know that lady, but who is she?
Yeah, somebody accused me the other day of being out with a different woman.
See, there you go. Oh,
Now, was that your son?
Yeah, my son and my daughter.
Okay.
Them was my two oldest.
I reckon-
We'd been to church and went out to eat.
I recognize your daughter. I didn't recognize your son. I don't think I've ever seen him.
No, he lived. Where did he live? Maiden, not Maiden. Charles Ford.
Yeah.
I'll get it in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 28 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then his wife decided she didn't want him around no more, so he come home.
Well, is he living with you now?
Huh?
He
Yeah,
lives-
he lives with me.
Yeah. Good for him.
They all come back to Mama when they
Sure.
ain't nowhere else to go.
Sure, why not?
I ain't gonna turn them away.
Mom's love is nothing like it.
That's right. But we hope everybody's having a good morning. I don't have any announcements, but I've got 38 degrees on the front porch, and I've got one birthday, and that's Chris Allison. So I hope Chris has a great old big day on his special day. And I don't know of anything going on. And it is just a little bit foggy off in the distance, but not much. But people need to be careful, because if you go around the creeks and stuff, it'll probably be foggy. Just burn your headlights so people can see you.
And you run into it before you realize it sometimes. It's
That's
there.
right. That's right.
It
And
is.
that's, to me, that's the most aggravating thing, is trying to drive in the fog. You can't see. You don't know.
That's right. That's right.
You don't know what 3 feet in front of you. It's nerve-wracking. But everybody just needs to be careful. But I guess you better go down to Ellenburg and check on Luther Sweet Thing and see if he's doing okay.
I'll check on you next time.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye. Couldn't reach Tina this morning by telephone, so we'll jump on over there, go to Union Mills now, over to Ellenboro with Luther Gilligan. We'll see if he is there this morning. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197. Luther Gilligan is up next. He is indeed on the job this morning in Ellenboro. Luther, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm already punched in, ready to do it.
All right, let's make it happen, man. Tell us everything you know. Well,
You
that was
got it.
quick. That was quick.
It didn't take long to tell you all I know. Everybody said, boy, you're about a dumb. Good morning. How are you? But it's quiet out this morning. It's good and foggy, though. Bus fog down here this morning. I tell you something, I'm going to come down and get it. Let's see, the fire department, they had 3 medical calls over the weekend. Other than that, they quiet this morning. Said they're enjoying a cup of coffee. So that's about all that's happening down here this morning, Jim. So you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'll see you then. Have a good one now.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Well, on this Monday morning, it is the 30th day of the month. Is almost gone, folks. This is the 30th. We have one more, and it'll be over. But if you're having a birthday today on the 30th of January, our anniversary, call Lou now. Lou's standing by out there to take that call. We'd love to give you a big shout-out this morning. Let folks know you've lived through another one. January 30th, birthdays and anniversaries can come in right now, 287-3356.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Don't pay the ransom, folks. She has escaped. Here's Tina White on the phone. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, Jim. This phone's being silly this morning. I have to run around looking for signal.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
the fog has something to do with it, because
Yep.
it's foggy up here in Shingle Hollow.
The fog can indeed affect it. You're absolutely right.
Well, it is 43 degrees here. Foggy, foggy, foggy. The fire department, they were all quiet over the weekend. So we're thankful for that. And we have one birthday today for Miss Missy Rhodes. So if you know Missy, call her and tell her happy birthday. If you see her, tell her happy birthday and give her a big hug. And there are no announcements that I know of right now, so we're just calm, cool, going to enjoy the day and just try to stay safe if you're out traveling in this fog.
Good advice, and it's good that we could get you on this morning and be safe up yourself. And I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Thank you for being patient with me, and thank you for letting me be late.
You're welcome. So long.
Y'all have a great day. God bless you.
And that is Tina Watt reporting from Shingle Hollow this morning. I could get a signal there for a bit during all this fog. But anyway, it's if you want to go buy a good meal, you ought to go by Granny B's and enjoy it. And something else you can enjoy are those delicious daylight donuts. They're better than anything I know. And if you have a special event and need a cake baked, Granny can do that. Superb cake baking. And she's got those pinafores that you can always enjoy. It's a great place. It can be your favorite hangout with coffee and sweet donuts or delicious sub sandwich. They'll fix it any way you want it fixed with the kind of meat that you like. It's a great, great place to enjoy. Right on Main Street there, just up the street there a little bit from Lakeside Mills and right beside Shake Shop. Enjoy it today. Well, they're closed on Monday, so enjoy it tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy anniversary to Jeff and Shane Dotson. It's their 35th wedding anniversary. They live over in the Shiloh community. So, Jeff, Shane, happy anniversary, and have many, many more of those. Kim Morrow over in Sandy Mush is having a birthday, so we want to wish Kim a happy, happy birthday, too. And Kim, hope you have many, many more as well. Now, stand by. We got Keys to Confident Living coming up. At top of the hour, we'll check the job market, find out where some jobs are that we can go to and get a job and get paid and invest it and all those good things. So stand by for that. All straight ahead here on the Morning Wake Up Call at WCAB.
Chris and his team stood at the pickup point in the China City where they were to meet their contact and deliver the Bibles. They arrived with only minutes to spare. But the contact didn't show up. What had gone wrong? Knowing that they were being watched, the team started walking to the edge of the town as though leaving. Soon the team saw 3 very ragged and dirty men under a tree behind them. Feeling sorry for them, they offered them water. Suddenly, one of the 3 spoke the password very clearly in English. How was this possible? 2 years earlier, one of the men in the ragged clothes felt that they should come to this park on this date and someone would have Bibles for them, which would be brought by white men from far away. But how did they know the English password? And how did they arrive on exactly the right day after walking for nearly 2 months? It could only be God. When the men saw the Bibles, they cried and praised the Lord. They had brought cloth bags to carry the Bibles home in, and inside each one was a small watermelon that they had brought all those miles as a gift of appreciation. We don't know the end of the story, but someday God will tell us. But we do know that in other cases where people received Bibles, the suffering church has been strengthened and thousands of lives have been changed. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
The best of both worlds. WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Playing the classic oldies.
on St. Patrick's Day, but we ran it last week and got some good results from that. Everybody loves cabbage anyway. I mean, we could run cabbage every day.
Yes.
But we did the corned beef and cabbage, and it did really well. I did a trial run on a pineapple casserole. I know that's old school. That was one of my buddy Scott Roach's mama's, Donna. She used to make some pineapple casserole, and Lord, I think me and Scott about to eat all of it before she could get it put out. But we made a no pineapple casserole last week, and you know, you don't never know how people are going to take things. So I just made one pan, and granted, we opened up at 3 o'clock, and I think 4:30 it was gone. So they liked that. So I know we'll have to make a little extra of that, and just going to try to do some different things this week. I'm going to bring back the big boy tater. We run it for lunch, and it's just a huge baked potato, and then you can put on it whatever you want to. I mean, we've got the chili, the cheese, the bacon, sour cream. We even had one guy one time put some grilled vegetables on it. So we've got all kind of things that you can do to that potato with mushrooms and jalapenos and stuff like that. So we got some of those in this morning, and I don't know exactly what day we'll run it, but look on my Facebook page or the restaurant's Facebook page, and I think we're going to run them at night too, just because I think it'll be a good thing, especially this week. It's supposed to be sort of cold and rainy. I think pretty much the whole week. So we'll do that and probably run some soups too, because that's always good when it's cold and rainy. So might throw in some chili beans the night we do the baked potato, because that'd be a good thing to, you know, throw some chili beans and some cheese on top of that potato, and then you can sit back and relax after that.
Good combination, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you, how did your breakfast at supper go over?
The breakfast went well. You know, it was one of those things that, you know, I love breakfast for supper. And a lot of people had, you know, mentioned it to us. And, you know, we had done a breakfast buffet. I can't remember exactly when we did it over at the cafeteria, but we used to do it a little bit. And people came out. I mean, you know, breakfast is one of those things that you got to have a lot of volume in order to generate money. It's hard to believe that nowadays, but you just don't have the, you know, $10 and $11 plates. You know, when you do breakfast, it's $6 and $7, $8. So, but we still had a good turnout. A lot of people came out and tried it. We had the, you know, the homemade fatback gravy, and of course all the meats that you could ask for, and grits, and we did some homemade French toast, and so we're thinking about continuing that. And I think what I've decided to do is we're going to do that the first Monday of each month. I'm not going to do it a lot, but I want to do it, you know, just to keep it fresh on everybody's mind. And I felt like that, you know, the first Monday of every month would be a good time to do that. So be looking for that coming up in February, which will probably be next Monday. I know it will be. So next Monday we'll do the breakfast. It's supper time again. So we're going to do it once a month and then go from there and see how it goes. But it did well. I think everybody loved it. Something different, because there's not a lot of things, you know, a lot of places you can go to get, you know, a homemade breakfast like that at nighttime. So
you know,
we're looking forward to it. We had a good time with it.
A lot of people are busy in the morning going to work in different places, and they eat a quick breakfast. So to sit down and have a good full breakfast at supper time is a great idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it works out good. And, I mean, we was cooking the eggs to order and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I mean, we had the bacon, the sausage, country ham. We had fried bologna, fried liver mush, grits. And then not only did we have the fatback gravy, but we just had regular white gravy as well. So we tried to cover all the bases. We didn't get into the omelets and pancakes and all that, but, you know, the French toast went really well. We made up our own batter with that, and, you know, we did it to order as well. So, and it's kind of hard to beat good old French toast with some good syrup and powdered sugar on it.
Oh,
so
boy.
It went well. I was pleased with it.
Yeah. You're the man.
Well, I don't know about all that, but we continue to try to do the best we can, and I've got a good crew up there, and, you know, they do a good job for me, and we just try to put out the best quality food and have the best service that we can. So the girls do a good job about that, and they know the people when they walk in the door, and I think that means a lot to the customers, and we look forward to seeing them every week.
Wayne, keep up the good work. Look, it's always a pleasure talking with you, and I look forward to talking to you again next time.
Yes, sir, Jim. Thank you, and y'all have a good week.
All right, bye-bye. Wayne Rollins reporting. We'll have news from here and there coming up in just a moment.
Hungry? Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime is a good time to stop in at Gregory's Original Restaurant. Choose from fresh, delicious burgers, fries, sandwiches, pasta dishes, fresh salads, grinders, and so much more. All orders are prepared fresh and to perfection. Open Monday through Friday, 11 till 9, Saturdays, noon till 9, closed on Sundays. Call in or carry out, 828-287-2171. Located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton, and DoorDash delivery is available. Fast and friendly service. That's Gregory's Original Restaurant.
Some news from here and there this morning. On Saturday, 28th of January into Sunday morning, officers with the Forest City Police Department, along with Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, responded to 440 Old Waggy Road, Forest City, in reference to a subject threatening suicide. Upon arrival, responding officers heard a gunshot come from the backyard of the residence. The suspect, Philip Bradley Holler, eventually dropped his weapon and was taken into custody. During an interview, Holler disclosed that he had set up multiple improvised explosive devices in the backyard. Based on the information, officers applied for a search warrant, which was granted for the property. At this point, officers requested assistance from the NCSBI Explosive Ordnance Unit, as well as the ATF. After hours of searching the yard, the Explosive Ordnance Unit were able to locate and disassemble the devices. At approximately 3:30 this morning, the devices, the bomb unit and Forest City Police Department conducted a controlled explosion of the explosive materials. There'll be more of that, I'm sure, as the story unfolds in Rutherford County. Other news from here and there. A local woman under investigation for drug activity was arrested after she was found to have 4.4 pounds of methamphetamine in her car. Rebecca Elizabeth Libby Whiteside was charged with trafficking methamphetamine after an extensive surveillance led officers to follow her into Spartanburg County. Investigators alerted the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, and during a January 18th traffic stop, the meth was discovered, according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. Whiteside was then jailed in Spartanburg County on the trafficking charge. Well, the Daily Courier is also reporting that they're downscaling. They'll be going to a twice-weekly paper. Beginning February the 14th, the Daily Courier will transition to a 3-times-a-week publication. In an effort to reduce costs and remain economically efficient, the Courier will be publishing on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday only. Moving to 3 days per week will not mean less news content or the loss of regularly featured elements, the article said. The new covers will remain the same. In fact, each edition will likely be bolstered with more content than when distributed 2 additional days. Lori Sperling, the publisher, said, "We're repackaging how we deliver the news and advertising. Our readers will continue to receive the same level of local news on these publication days. News will continue to be posted online at thedigitalcourier.com on a daily basis. Therefore, the Courier will, in effect, remain daily for those who read the newspaper online. All print subscribers automatically qualify for access to the paper online." By repackaging the newspaper's local news presentation and eliminating 2 print editions, including distribution costs, Sperling said subscribers will receive the same level of local news and sports coverage they've always enjoyed without having more substantial price increases. Customers that have prepaid for their subscription will receive the same number of weeks they have paid for. Sperling said she remains confident readers will understand and appreciate the Courier's efforts to keep home subscription rates competitive. A Gaffney, South Carolina man was killed when he crossed the center line and struck an 18-wheeler head-on in Chesney. A Cherokee County coroner, Dennis Fowler, says Ricky Ronald Jones of 3024 Chesney Highway was killed Thursday afternoon in a 2-truck collision near Chesney. According to reports, Jones was driver and lone occupant of the 2003 Ford pickup truck that was headed south on Rutherfordton Highway at 3:47 p.m. Jones crossed the center line, striking a 2027 Kenworth tractor-trailer rig traveling north head-on. Jones died on impact and was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the tractor-trailer was not injured. An autopsy has been scheduled to assist with the investigation, said the coroner. Walter Williamson is wanted for armed robbery of a gas station in Spartanburg County on January 26. Williamson is from Nebo. He has extensive criminal history and is considered armed and dangerous. Williamson was last seen on foot near West Henderson Street between 221 Bypass and Zaxby's area. He was described as wearing a blue and collar hoodie, sweatshirt, and baggy pants. He has tattoos on his left side of the neck. Anyone with information concerning the whereabouts of this individual is asked to call McDowell County Communications at 652-4000 or McDowell County Crime Stoppers at 65-CRIME. You can also text your tips to Crime Stoppers by texting TIP McDowell SO and your information to 888-777, or you can contact any local official. They can help you get that information to the right source. The Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. We know that due to COVID, many people don't want to come in the office. If you need to discuss your insurance needs or just make a payment, you can come through the drive-thru, telephone us, or drop in. We want to see you, but it doesn't have to be across from a desk. Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
The Sheriff's Report was given to us this morning by Deputy Udea, and we have that recorded for broadcast at this time.
And this weekend, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 393 calls for service. The jail's housing 165, and 23 arrests were made. And for our reports, Bryson Remedi was arrested and charged was served a criminal summons. Jonathan Dobbins was charged with cyber stalking. Willie Strude was charged with driving while license revoked. Adrian Kemp was charged with failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Dontre Mickelrath was charged with misdemeanor larceny. Bethany Gillikin was charged with injury to personal property. Bobby Johnson was charged with carry to conceal a handgun. And that's all I have for the day.
Thank you, Deputy Udea. It's 23 past the hour of 8 o'clock. Sports update coming up. A couple of program notes tonight. Hubert Davis live at 7 o'clock tonight. And on Wednesday, the first day of February, UNC plays Pittsburgh. Now, over the weekend, UNC... Well, the last game I see we have recorded, here was UNC and Syracuse 72-68. But that game come up here on Wednesday, UNC and Pittsburgh, and they play Duke on Saturday. So still a lot of action yet to come here on the radio, and we hope you hang around. Now, if you like the classic oldies, you'll want to hang around after 9:30 this morning for a storehouse full of the classic oldies you'll enjoy and appreciate and walk down memory lane with. Meanwhile, let me remind you that Valentine's Day coming up soon. So make sure that you and your Valentine are in the drawing for some fabulous prizes. Get your Valentine sent to us at Post Office Box 511. And be careful about the time frame now. Make sure you get it into the mail to us early enough. If you want to hand carry it by here, that'll be fine. We'll be glad to accept it by hand. If you want to request your favorite love song, be sure to do that too. We'll do our best to get those love songs in because we are the official love station. WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM. See you tomorrow, folks. Have a good day.
NCN Sports, I'm Nate Saunders. The Hurricanes win a matchup of the NHL's two best teams. AP correspondent Dave Ferry reports.
The Bruins have their first three-game losing streak of the season following a 4-1 setback against the Hurricanes. Sebastian Aho tallied for the fourth straight game, opening the scoring in the first period. Paul Stastny doubled Carolina's lead with a power play goal in the second. Seth Jarvis and Jordan Stahl added third-period goals, with Stahl's empty netter securing the Canes' fifth straight win. Frederick Anderson turned back 24 shots and blanked outranked the Bruins until Pavel Zacha made it 3-1 with 16:38 remaining. Boston still leads the NHL with 81 points, 11 more than the runner-up Hurricanes. I'm Dave Ferry.
The Eagles trounced the 49ers to become the NFC champions. Correspondent Michael Luongo.
3 first-half touchdowns propelled the Eagles to the NFC Championship with a 31-7 win over the 49ers. Miles Sanders had 2 scoring runs. The second broke a 7-7 tie for the Birds, who gained their 4th Super Bowl appearance.
I wanted to demand respect and do whatever I can to help this team get to the Super Bowl. I promised that when I first got drafted here.
Niners quarterback Brock Purdy left the game with an elbow injury, then had to return when backup quarterback Josh Johnson suffered a concussion.
Just felt like really a lot of just shocks all over, from my elbow down to my wrist, front and back, just pain.
Christian McCaffrey had a touchdown run for San Francisco. Michael Luongo, Philadelphia.
A scramble, a penalty, and a kick send the Chiefs to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in 5 seasons. Correspondent Greg Eklund reports.
A 45-yard field goal by kicker Harrison Butker with 3 seconds left in the game gave the Kansas City Chiefs a 23-20 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes played with a high ankle sprain. Mahomes and the Chiefs also benefited from an unnecessary roughness penalty that moved the ball into field goal range.
I'm Nate Saunders. You're listening to NCN Sports.
Do you find yourself considering a home generator when a storm is approaching? It's better to prepare now. A Generac automatic standby generator from Alternative Power guards the home against blackouts caused by weather of all types. 45 years in business and over 10,000 satisfied customers. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac automatic standby generator from Alternative Power. Terms and conditions apply. Financing options are available. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts. See more at alternativepower.com.
Getting older and wiser is a part of life. But like all things, aging has its challenges, and it's often hard to know where to turn for answers. Listen to the AARP Without Limits podcast to get the best information to navigate the challenges of aging in North Carolina. Learn how to live your best life after 50. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
A look at LeBron James's pursuit of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the NBA's scoring record. Abdul-Jabbar has held the record since April 5th, 1984. At his current pace of 30.2 points per game with 117 points needed to pass Abdul-Jabbar, it would take James 4 more games to become the NBA's scoring leader all time. The Lakers say James will not play today at Brooklyn. For now, that makes the potential record-breaking game February 7th when the Lakers host Oklahoma City. Last night in the NBA, Charlotte beat Miami 122-117. And tonight in top 25 college basketball, a good one down in Texas. Number 6, they tip off at 9 p.m. and Iowa State at Texas Tech, also at 9. You're listening to NCN Sports.
You're going to need the rain gear all week long. We are tracking unsettled conditions to move in. Starting off with today, those early showers will continue to clear out and drier conditions will be possible for this afternoon. We're heading into the upper 50s and the lower 60s. By the time we head into tonight, we're down into the upper 40s with mostly cloudy conditions. Look for highs in the lower 50s and lower 60s for tomorrow with a chance of scattered showers. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Currently, we're 42 degrees and mostly cloudy with some scattered showers developing later today. We're only getting up about 61 for a daytime high, and the chance for precipitation today is 30%, and mostly cloudy tonight with a lot of fog tonight. So when you wake up in the morning, there'll be a lot of fog. And we have scattered showers in the forecast all this week until we get to the weekend, and then they're tempting us and threatening us with the possibility of some snow showers over the weekend. We'll keep you posted. We'll keep our eyes on that weather pattern. You stay tuned right here. It's 8:30. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And with the program today is Jessica Farmer and Mary Back.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to our Word of Faith radio program. It's so good to be back with you again today. My name is Jessica, and I've got with me Mary, who's like a sister to me, and God has really laid some things on our heart that we want to share with you, and hopefully will be such an encouragement to you and perhaps a new way of thinking, a new way of living, that God has so done a work in our heart, and we wanted to share it with you. And really what it's about is walking through with the grace of God in our hearts, with our eyes on Jesus, something that people think it would be the most difficult thing that you could ever walk through, and that is the death of a loved one. And God has one way in everything that he calls us to walk through on this earth. One way. And his way, it says his yoke is light, it's easy to bear, and it's comfortable. And then in the Amplified Bible it says, and if we come to him, all of us, it says, who are weary and heavy laden, he'll give us rest. And God has a way, and God began to put things in our pastor's heart, certain keys to help us walk in this with our eyes on Jesus. Years ago, when I was even a little girl, in the first death that I can remember in our church, and she began to bring it forth to us, and it brought such deliverance and such a new way of living to us, that's what we wanted to share with you today. And one of the first things that I remember that she began to share with us is how God walked her through not to touch it with her mind. Certain things you can think about at the time of the death of a loved one that can just be like a knife in your heart. And that's because you touched it with your mind. And that may not mean as much to you as it has come to mean to us. But how I understand that is when the devil brings something to you to think about, those thoughts are heavy. They weigh you down. Things like, oh, I wish I had spent more time with that person. Or, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that. I wish I hadn't have said that. Or I wish I had said that. And at that time, there is not one thing. When the person leaves this earth, there's appointed unto every man a time to die, and then the judgment. When a person leaves this earth in death, there is not one thing that you and I could do to better or worse anything whatsoever, or change anything. Right. And that's what we just have to know. Those thoughts are from the devil. But thoughts that have come from a heart that is submitted to God, even through the death of a loved one, where that pain so wants to be there, or that, that regret wants to be there. The thoughts that come from Jesus are the only thoughts that we want to set our mind on. She began to walk us through that. She began to walk us through where people have such a dread. Like, I could never walk through the death of my grandmother, for instance. Right. I could never do that. Well, you know what? Today, we don't have to walk through the death of anyone. We don't have grace to walk through the death of that person until that happens. And when that happens, such amazing grace comes on our lives. Right. It is so there. And that is so important. Right. The devil always wants to keep you out somewhere in the future, worrying about it, or regretting something that happened in the past, tormented about it, and you lose what God wants to do right here and now. And the thing that is so special that God has done for Mary recently, as we just walked through the death of her precious father, in the grace of God. Mm-hmm. It has been so miraculous to watch her and her mother Alice walk through this every step in the grace of God. And that's why we wanted to share with you, because it's so real to us now, where God can do it. He can do it. And that's what we want you to know today.
I had several years ago, I decided, and really it was the devil that spoke to me, that I could never handle losing a parent. Mm-hmm. And that can set you up for hopelessness, despair. I mean, that was the devil speaking to me, but I really felt like I would never be able to handle that. And it was a lie. You believe a lie of a devil, and it comes in your heart, and it lodges there, and it'll hook you. And when the time comes, you won't be able to deal with it. That's right. Unless you have Jesus. And that's what I have had. And I've shared on this program before about my dad, how he was very sick. He had COVID for 3 months. He was on a ventilator. And miraculously, God healed him. He came home. And for the last 2.5 years, we have seen miracle after miracle in his life. Yes. God has healed him of so many things. And it's been precious, the time that I've had with my dad. Yes. And we became such a close-knit family. I mean, I was always close to my parents. But, when he got sick and he came home, it was like what was precious to us was spending time with him and sharing Jesus with him. And our relationship just grew. I was very, very close to my dad. And a few months ago, he got a respiratory infection, and he also had congestive heart failure. And what happened to him, his body was just so weak he couldn't fight it. Spiritually, he fought it, but physically,
absolutely.
he could not fight it. And so he passed away December 7th. And I've got to say, the grace of God that has been in my life has been unbelievable.
It truly has.
The morning that he passed, I was getting ready for work, and I heard this little voice say, "Prepare your heart." And deep inside, I knew what that meant. And deep inside, I knew that was the Spirit of God speaking to me. But I just kind of shelved it and said, "Jesus, I just trust you. I trust you with my dad's life." He'd been in the hospital for a few days. And so I went to work, had a good day at work. I actually, at lunchtime, got to see him and give him all my kisses and tell him I loved him. And I didn't know that was the last time I would see him alive, but he passed away that evening I think it was about 6:30. And he fought till the end. And I'm telling you, where that devil had come in before and lied to me that I would never be able to handle the death of a parent, I had to repent for that. I had to ask Jesus to forgive me for that. And I did. This was years ago. I did. I realized that was wrong. And so when he passed, I was surrounded by friends and family and the Spirit of God. I'm telling you, I have never felt the love of God, the grace of God that was with me and my mom, both of us. It was like he needed to go and he went with Jesus. And it was totally the will of God for him to go when he did. He was so sick. His poor body just couldn't handle it anymore. So, really what I wanted to say was that God can walk you through anything. Jesus can walk you through anything. It doesn't have to be the death of your loved one. It can be your marriage or a job or financial, whatever. Jesus can help you if you cry out to him and you have that trust in your heart for him. He will help you walk through anything. And this is something that is so, to me, it's so major out in the world. People die every day, but I don't know how anybody could walk through it if they didn't have Jesus, Jesse. How do you walk through knowing? And of course, a lot of people don't know where their loved ones go, to heaven or hell. But I mean, there's no way I would walk through this without Jesus. And the grace of God was there immediately for me. And I want to read in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. Let's see if I can find it. This is what God says to us. "My grace, my favor and loving kindness and mercy is enough for you. It's sufficient." God's grace is sufficient. And like you were saying, I mean, the grace of God for me to walk through my dad's death was not there until the moment he passed away.
That's right.
I had the supernatural grace of God to help me and my mom. I saw it. I mean, it was tangible. I don't know how to describe it. It was tangible.
It so was. I mean, you